Are you ready to deepen your journey into herbal medicine and natural healthcare? Introducing live, online Herbal Labs brought to you by Cedar Mountain Herb School. Herbal Labs will help you expand your knowledge of herbal medicine and skills in making effective remedies, take charge of your health and well-being, and get real-time feedback with projects you might be working on. They say it's like having an herbal personal trainer. Knowing when or where to harvest plants and how to make strong and effective herbal remedies on your own can be intimidating. If you feel unsure of your herbal skills and or want to brush up on your herbal knowledge and add to your self-reliant herbal tool belt, Cedar Mountain Herb School's Herbal Labs will help you gain greater confidence and find your community of like-minded wildlings. Herbal Labs starts today, which is November 5th, 2021, and it runs the first and third Fridays of each month from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Pacific Time. The labs will be held online in the comfort of your own home from Zoom, and links will be provided from a student portal. And all of this is hosted and led by Suzanne Tabert and Heather Bruno. These two herbal dynamos split each month's labs, alternating the instruction with their vast experience out in the field and in the lab. To learn more about Herbal Labs and to register, visit cedarmountainherbs.com/herbal-labs. Or you can also go to cedarmountainherbs.com and click on the tab labeled Classes. It's at the top of the page. You'll see it there in a drop-down menu. Just click on Herbal Labs. Or you can also just click on today's episode's show notes, as always. And a huge thanks to Suzanne, Heather, and the whole Cedar Mountain Herb School crew for supporting the Herb Rally podcast. And that is it for now. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you very soon.
Well, hey everybody, we're standing right in front of my favorite tree, and this is Hawthorn. The botanical name is Crataegus monogyna, and it is in the rose family. I love the rose family. The rose family is all about heart support and love and helping you to heal your broken hearts, and this is certainly one of the plants that we're going to be utilizing that's just going to be so helpful. In fact, I call this plant the everything's going to be okay plant. So that means that, we'll be in times of transition. Transition could be, deaths in the family, breaking up of relationships. It could be you lose your job or you quit your job. It could be moving. There's going into menopause. There's so many life's transitions. And oftentimes during those transitions, we feel like we're alone and we have nobody standing with us. And Hawthorn is that faithful friend that's going to stand with you and say, there. Everything's going to be okay, and it's not so much fun right now. In fact, it's pretty hard right now, but I'm going to tell you it's going to be okay. It might be different. It might look different. Your life might be taking a whole different turn than you ever thought you would. However, it's going to be okay, right? So it's that faithful friend that will never leave you, always going to be beside you. And that's a faithful friend indeed, isn't it? So we're here in late September, and that in the Pacific Northwest is the time to harvest our hawthorn. I know a lot of people ask me in August, oh, the hawthorns are starting to turn blushy. Can I harvest now? And the answer is always no, because when we're wildcrafting for medicine, we really want to get the strongest medicine, right? We want to be able to make the strongest medicine to give to our family and friends, maybe to sell to our customers, to use ourselves. And we want to give the best medicine that we possibly can. So here in the Pacific Northwest, it's mid to late September, and that's perfect time to harvest our hawthorn berries. And this is our berry right here. And we know it's a hawthorn because of the leaves themselves. The leaves kind of, you see how lobed they are here? Some people say they look like oak. I personally don't see that, but if that's helpful to you, then you can go ahead and use that. And then at the very end of these branches, you see these thorns. See that? Ooh, you can't get much thornier than that. That'll hurt you, I tell you what. See the thorn right here? Look at that. Ooh. That's part of the plant's protection. This plant is so nutritive and it's so medicinal. And it needs some protection against everybody coming to eat it. Because really, a plant's purpose is to make more of itself. right? Just like, as human beings, we make more of ourselves. We have babies, and our species goes forth. Well, that's what the plants are really about too. And for us, we want these plants to survive, not just survive, but to thrive and make babies and make more of them for the future herbalists that are coming. And so it has to have some kind of protection. And the more protection a plant has, that kind of, in a way, gives you a clue that this plant could be really medicinal, or it just might be really cranky. But in this case, this is a fabulous, fabulous plant. Like I said, it's that everything's going to be okay plant. In books and on the internet and on the mommy blogs, you might see hawthorn is good for the heart. But what does that really mean? For me, having, really a science base, I want to know what the constituents are in the plant. What are the active constituents that are actually doing something on a physiological level in our body? To me, that tells me a couple of things. One, it gets me to understand the plants more deeply, and it helps me to understand my anatomy and physiology as well. So I'm always researching that, and I'm always going deeper into the constituents of the plant and the medicine of the plant. The second thing is that if we know the constituent, we will know what is the best menstruum to pull that constituent out and to preserve it, right? And so, and how to process it as well. When's the best time? What's the best way to process? So we're going to talk about hawthorn a bit, and then I'm going to show you how I process the hawthorn to make just fantastic, fantastic medicine. So there's 73 active constituents in hawthorn, and we really don't have time to talk about all of them, but we are going to talk about a few. And one of the constituents in hawthorn is adenosine, and that's ADE. Adenosine. And what adenosine does in the body is it dilates the arteries. It helps to bring down blood pressure. And so that means it's hypotensive. That means it brings it down to a nice normal level. It helps to make a nice, strong, steady rhythm of the heart, which, is really helpful for those who have heart palpitations or, a heart that has this kind of a rolling gait every once in a while if they're really stressed out. Our hawthorn berries are very antioxidant rich. Antioxidants are a huge group of compounds in leaves, flowers, and fruit of plants. And the ones we're concerned about right now are the ones in the berry. Antioxidants, oh my gosh, they'll do everything from being anti-cancer by protecting cells from damage. They're kind of like that chaperone, your wing person that goes with you, and just make sure that you don't get into trouble. You think about these chaperone antioxidants as being your designated driver, so to speak. So it's keeping damage from happening, and some of these antioxidants will help to repair proteins in the cells, will cause certain cancer cells to self-destruct, and that is called apoptosis, one of my favorite words. They can be anti-inflammatory. They can bring down heart, blood pressure. They can be, antimicrobial, so antifungal, antifungal. Did I say antifungal? I'm going to say it again, antifungal. The antimicrobial is antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral. So many things that antioxidants do. And what I have found over my years of making and using herbal medicine and research into scientific studies, that antioxidants need to be preserved fresh. So if we subject them to high heat or drying, oftentimes they are considerably lessened in their ability to do all those wonderful things that they do, or they're completely destroyed. So in hawthorn specifically, they contain camphorol, they contain apigenin, they contain caffeic acid, and those are three of my probably favorite antioxidants for what they do. And specifically for the heart, it's going to be antispasmodic, it's going to be anti-inflammatory, it's going to soothe the heart muscle, it's going to help to strengthen the heart muscle. Nice, strong, steady heartbeat as well, like the adenosine will do that. And if you're thinking about, as we're strengthening our heart, as the flesh, as the muscle, we're strengthening our moods and our emotions and our ability to cope with day-to-day things that happen. You know, sometimes we're so stressed out that, you know, people sit on our last nerve. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever felt that? They're sitting on my last nerve. Or, you know, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Or if you say one more thing, I'm going to pull your hair. You ever get in those moods? I can tell you, I get in those moods a lot. And this plant here, this wonderful berry, this hawthorn here, helps to just soothe you and chill you out and just say, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Just calm down. Okay. Hawthorn helps people who are in grieving times. You know, because like I said earlier, the transition times in our life. And sometimes we just feel broken, just completely broken. And that's a hard place to be in. And when we're in a broken place, we feel like that's how we're going to be for the rest of our lives. You know, and it's hard to feel hopeful at that time. And in Japan, they have this method of repairing vessels called Kinsugi. And Kinsugi is when they take a plant resin and they mix it with platinum dust, or they mix it with gold dust, or they mix it with silver, and they create this kind of an epoxy, and they repair these vessels. And then they look at this broken vessel that's been repaired, and they look at it with more value than the original vessel, you know. And what hawthorn does is it kintsugi's your heart, you know. So it's fixing your broken heart so that you can be even stronger, right? And you become more valuable and you find your place on the earth. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things in the world, because when we're in that broken place, we don't feel of value. You know, we sometimes will wonder, why are we even here? And Hawthorn says, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to help you to feel better. I'm going to help you to feel stronger than you've ever felt before. And a few years ago, a friend of mine said, let your misery be your ministry. And I think that was one of the most important things that have ever been told in my life. Because, you know, we go through things and you would think, why did I have to go through that? And then you come across somebody who's going through that. You know, I've lost both of my parents. So when I talk, and as a woman, that can be a hard thing, right? As a man, of course, that's a hard thing as well. But when we lose our mothers, we lose sometimes our lifeline to our ancestors. We can feel that way. And believe me, there are many times that I want to call my mom up and say, Mom, I've got some questions for you. You know, but I can't do that. But what I can do is shepherd women who are losing their moms, or shepherd women who have lost their moms and have kind of lost their way, you know. And one of the ways that I help that, not just by allowing them to speak to somebody who's been through it, but to help them herbally as well with our beautiful hawthorn, that there's still life to live. And we want you here to live that life. And we're going to do whatever we can to help you to repair and become this beautiful vessel for your beautiful soul that's within you.
All right, that's it for the show today. Thanks so much for listening. I just wanted to let you know about 4 herbal freebies that we're giving away if you sign up for our newsletter. We send about 1 to 4 newsletters per week, basically with updates on new monographs, podcasts, events, courses, you get the drill. But yeah, the 4 freebies are an 86-page ebook by Plant Healer Magazine, a calendula ebook by Rosalie de la Foyer, an hour-long adaptogens class by herbalist Heather Irvine, as well as a special discount from Mountain Rose Herbs for Herb Rally fans. If you'd like to get these 4 herbal freebies and sign up for the newsletter, just go to herbrally.com, scroll to the bottom of the page. You'll see a button right there. It says newsletter. Just click on that. It'll take you to a page where you can sign up for the newsletter as well as receive your 4 herbal freebies. Thanks so much for listening to the Herb Rally podcast. And if you got a minute, please consider leaving us a written review in iTunes or your podcast player of choice. It really helps us out. And thanks one more time. I will talk to you later. Take care.